Welcome to Commercial Drive. Here I am at the corner of Venables and Commercial Drive on the northern part of Commercial Drive. We'll be walking south towards the Broadway Skytrain station where Commercial Drive essentially starts, and then from there we're going to loop back up on the other side of the street. That'll be the west side of Commercial Drive, right back down to Venables. Commercial Drive was named in 1911 and is known now simply as the Drive. It's also known as the Little Italy of Vancouver, as many Italian immigrants started settling in the East Vancouver area in the late 1950s into the early 60s and into the late 60s. Now it's kind of been diluted. A lot of the Italian people, the immigrants, have passed away or moved away, and now they've moved to other areas of Vancouver, including Burnaby, Coquitlam, and even as far as Maple Ridge. On Commercial Drive, you'll see a number of different Italian coffee shops. This is where most people will go to during any kind of soccer events, including the Euro and World Cups. So if Italy's playing or any other teams like Portugal or South American teams, this is where most of the people will congregate to watch the games and also party on the streets after any win for their team. Okay, so let's start talking about some of the different businesses. My own personal experiences. We have Pizza Garden we're going to be walking by here in a minute. That's really good pizza, affordable but very tasty, and they're found throughout Vancouver. And so if you're looking for a quick pizza, that's a good place to go. Lunch Lady is a Vietnamese kind of restaurant where you can have Vietnamese sandwiches, Vietnamese coffee. To the front of us, that's another coffee shop. I forget the name, but we'll see it in a second here. I think it's Mura Coffee. There's Pizza and Indian Buffet. I haven't tried that place. We'll be coming up to Joe's Cafe, very old Portuguese coffee shop. Before that, coming up on the left right here, is the PCOV, Portuguese Club of Vancouver. It's like a restaurant and a members kind of a hangout. Portuguese nationalists go there. Right here, actually, it is. I think, is it? Oh, wait a sec. Here it is. The one with the tile in the front. That's the Portuguese Club of Vancouver. So all the Portuguese congregate there to watch any kind of Brazilian and Portuguese soccer games. On the corner coming up here past this mailbox, you will see Joe's Cafe, one of the oldest coffee shops in Vancouver, run by a Portuguese man, and he's still running it. A lot of people hang out there. It's kind of been deteriorated in the last few years. He hasn't really renovated, so if you want to walk back in history into the late or early 1970s, that's the place to do it. He hasn't renovated it since he opened it up back then. You're coming to Havana Restaurant. Cool hangout right here on the left-hand side. Pretty busy on the weekends. I don't know if they have dancing, but they got really good food. Definitely a fun place to hang out. Now we're continuing our walk south. And they don't just have Italian restaurants here, they have all kinds, a lot of different kind of coffee shops. Turk's Coffee on the left-hand side. I haven't been there before, but it looks like it's usually busy. Once you get into the actual center, you'll see more pizza places, some more coffee shops. Like I said, most of the Italian people have actually moved out of this neighborhood. It's got the decor of, the Italian green, white, and red colors, but for the most part, most Italians have actually moved out of this neighborhood. For sure, the kids of the actual Italian immigrants have moved out. My mother herself actually lived on East 6th, I believe, when she first came here, and she was renting a house. And then she moved from there into an eastern part of Vancouver, and then from there into Burnaby, which is a suburb east of Vancouver. Like most people, because this area is not the cleanest area. The lots are smaller and so forth. So a lot of people kind of, when they started making money, they bought lots and they bought houses and more affluent parts of the city that had more space and newer areas. We just walked by Santa Barbara Market. My parents used to go there all the time to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables and also cured meats from a Portuguese grocer. Santa Barbara Market. Rosemary rock salt. My kids like that. Famoso Pizzeria. It's a good pizza place. I've been there before. Right across the street from Marcello's restaurant, right? Marcello's Pizzeria. And they've been around since I think at least the 1980s, possibly even into the 1970s. They had a restaurant. The person, Marcello, had a restaurant with his wife called Lombardo's. They split it up, and then he ended up opening up Marcello's. So there's two restaurants, one from the ex-wife and one from the husband. Marcello's the husband, and his ex-wife owns Lombardo's restaurant across the street in Il Mercato, which is kind of like a small little mall. I haven't been to any of these places. We're going to be coming up to what's it called? Gelato Mafia, La Dolce Vita Gelato place. I go there at least once a month with my kids and wife. Good place, very tasty gelato. So if you like Italian style ice cream, that's the place to go. Very flavorful. It should be coming up in a second here. Second store from, no, actually it's not coming up yet, never mind. Now we're coming up to, right across the street, that white building is Sopra Sotto's. That used to be a place called Cafe Roma, Italian coffee bar, and that's where it was the epicenter of any kind of World Cup events. Everybody would congregate in this corner, and they still do, but they would congregate inside there. There's Sotto Sopra right there, my favorite pizza place on Commercial Drive. So if you're in the neighborhood, if you want to try some great pizza, lots of room in there. Licensed establishment, meaning you can have alcohol right there. Right next door, they have alcohol. The BC Liquor Store. Right across the street is Arriva, Italian restaurant. Been around since at least the 1980s or even earlier than that. Not really sure. This is Kalena's shoe store. That's been around for a very long period of time. My parents would take me there, forced me to buy shoes when all I wanted to do was sit at home and watch Chips or, I don't know, Fantasy Island or Knight Rider or something like that. Here's Dolce Amore. Great place. Criminally good treats. They make it seem like it's connected to the mafia. It's all just not true. It's just a marketing gimmick. Norman's Community Market. My parents used to go here. They got a lot of fresh fruit, cheap. Closed right now as I walk here because this walk I did was like at 7 o'clock in the morning, but that was a big place to buy fresh fruit. Unfortunately, Commercial Drive has become a little more run down over the years, like a lot of parts of Vancouver have, but they do have private security that walks the streets and cleans it. There's not very many people who are homeless around this area as they try to get them to move along. Much different from my other videos of East Hastings Street where it's a human catastrophe what's going on here. Here, you will not see that many homeless because they want them to keep moving along. Here's a grocery store. They got all their fresh produce out there. See the graffiti all over the windows and stuff like that. It's commonplace all over Vancouver now, like many major metropolitan cities across the world. It's kind of hard to stop. It's sad to see the degradation of Vancouver, but that's what's happening right now. Now we're going to be going across the street. I've never been to that place, Red Burrito, but I heard it's good. There's a nice little icon, Little Italy, the drive. Pretty cool. They put that in probably about less than 10 years ago when they started putting all these Italian colors and decorations, and they started naming the streets Il Corso, which means the street. And different, just little touches to make it look like an actual Little Italy. After, of course, the Italian immigrants have basically moved out. Now they call Little Italy. When they were here, there was no effort into making it Little Italy. So it's after the fact for the most part. Yes, there are still Italian businesses, but not as many as before. Not as many Italian immigrants. Like I said, a lot of them have passed away. And of course, their children have moved into other parts of the city, including myself, moved into another part of the city. So here's another newer Italian restaurant. What's the name of this place? I haven't even been here. Os Osito Fall in Love. I think that's an Italian restaurant. Not 100% sure about, but actually I'm thinking it is. Or is it here? No, I think it's that one. But there's all different kinds of restaurants here. It's not just Italian. I consider it basically a restaurant street where there's any kind of restaurant you can think of, from Italian foods to coffee shops to Portuguese restaurants to Indian restaurants to African restaurants, Vietnamese restaurants, and anything in between. You've got everything here, Japanese restaurants as well, everything, and it's all walking. So it's kind of cool. You go down there, you get yourself a coffee and ice cream, or you can do the reverse. Go down there for here's another coffee shop. Continental Coffee's been around for quite a few number of years. But you go down there for a meal, then go for a coffee and an ice cream. It's basically food establishment after food establishment is what's going on for the most part. Cannibal Cafe, it's basically all barbecue kind of meats. It's funny, I haven't really tried most of the places on here. Usually I go down here just either for the ice cream, a pizza, or an espresso coffee or something like that for the most part. I don't come down here for sushi or anything like that because there's sushi all over the place. Mind you, there's pizza places in a lot of different parts of the city too. I just come down here if I just feel like, I don't know, reminiscing, walking the streets, whatever. Another coffee shop going to be opening up, Fiore di Latte. This used to be Olivieri Ravioli, now it's Easy Shop. It's like almost like a Circle K, a 7-Eleven kind of place. Mexican products available, so they've got all kinds of products in there, not just Italian food. And it's not owned by Italians anymore, it's owned by an Indian family, I think. Here's another pizza place. What is this? Brothers Pizza? I can't remember. Four Brothers Pizza. And then right next to that one, they got another pizza place. What's that one? I forgot. I thought there was another one right there. Right there. I think it is too. Fire Pizza, maybe. Here's another coffee shop on the corner here. Prado Cafe. Bookstore. Looks like the awning needs to get cleaned, or even get a new awning. That one's falling apart. Usually I don't go down this far on the drive. The actual center of the drive that I go to was up a couple blocks. Down here it gets a little more grittier. As you get closer to the Broadway Skytrain station, it just gets less and less attractive. Dirtier. More people hanging out on the streets, all that kind of stuff. But it's actually overall, compared to other parts of Vancouver, the graffiti problem and the litter problem isn't too bad, really, because they do keep a close eye on it because there's so many open businesses here that are actually open. There's no business. There's La Pacha Pizzeria, another place. Right next to it, they got Grounds Coffee. But they do try to keep it up. They don't want it degraded and looking like a garbage can. So they have, like I said, private security, and they just clean it up they look after the street, which is nice to see, taking pride in their businesses, and rightfully so, because if it starts looking like a complete garbage can hellhole, well, the customers will not come. They'll just find another place that they'll feel safer in going to. some kind of kinky clothing place. Canada Post on the left-hand side right there. Then as we walk, we'll be walking to another coffee shop, JJ Bean, which is kind of, it's almost like a Starbucksy kind of place. And that's all over the city as well, and they have one here in the corner. A lot of people hang out there in the summer. The easiest way to get to this part of the city, Commercial Drive, the drive, literally, is to take the Skytrain from wherever you're from and just get off of the Broadway Skytrain station and just walk south. There's JJ Bean right there. Usually a pretty busy coffee shop. There's coffee shops everywhere in Vancouver. It's a big thing. Kind of started in the early 1990s with Starbucks coming here. It just kind of went everywhere. But originally before that, there was Italian coffee shops in the 1960s and 70s all over Commercial Drive, which, in my opinion is the original Starbucks, or the Italian coffee shops that Italian immigrants started throughout Vancouver, well, on Commercial Drive, and in other cities across the world. Wherever Italians immigrated to, they opened up coffee shops, because that was a thing in Italy many years ago, way before Starbucks ever started in Seattle. But the Starbucks company just knew how to market themselves, and they took the experience of drinking Italian coffee or any coffee worldwide. So this is on the left-hand side of the Gree building. It's a social services kind of place. Concrete here, this is where you see the Skytrain. You can see the concrete pillar or the concrete beam there. I think the Skytrain just runs through while I was walking here, if you pay attention. There it is, coming out, there it is. Yeah, this is social services building here, welfare and all that kind of stuff. On the corner right here on the left hand side, St. Augustine's restaurant and brewery. They have all different kinds of craft beer, and they also have good food. Owned by the same people who own Parallel 49 Brewery just down the street on Triumph, and it's north of Hastings Street. So if you're looking for a craft brewery, you can either try St. Augustine that has food, or you can try their other actual craft brewery place. One of the biggest craft breweries in Vancouver, and the most flavors, different kinds of beers, is Parallel 49. You can search that up on Google if you want. Best, in my opinion, the best craft brewery place in Vancouver. There's the Skytrain. So from there's two different Skytrain lines. I'm gonna give you a quick shot of the Commercial Broadway Skytrain station. Right there. And then I kind of just did a quick loop, and now I'm on the other side. I'm on the west side of Commercial Drive, walking back towards Venables. Here they're just starting to open up for business. They're putting out all their produce. This building is the Canadian Legion, a place where Army vets can congregate for a beer, talk about war stories, open to the public as well. If you want cheap beer, that's the place to go. There's a bunch of those kind of buildings, Legions, Canadian Legions scattered throughout Vancouver. Here's a nice mural commemorating the war veterans who fought for our rights, fighting wars. Grandview Lanes, bowling establishment, been there before. All bowling establishments are, for the most part, they're usually very old. Bowling is not as popular as it once was, so you go into these different bowling lane establishments. They're always old school. Everything looks like it's from the 1970s, so you want to get the feel of a 1970s bowling alley, stop by Grandview Lanes. Now we're walking south still on Commercial Drive. towards Venables. Eggs Canna, that's where you can buy legal marijuana. Tangent Cafe. I don't think I've been to this place, no. The busiest nights on Commercial Drive will probably be Friday and Saturday night, especially in the summer. It's really busy here. During the daytime, it's actually pretty quiet here. It's very, very laid back. People come here definitely more during nighttime. It's a night street, basically. Best falafel. Haven't been there, but I like falafels for sure. I know I'm probably saying it wrong, but still tastes good. Basically, I just call it a Middle Eastern burrito. Really good stuff, though. I like the shawarmas. Shawarmas? I think that's what shawarma, something like that. I love how those taste. The Drive. This is like a skateboard kind of place. Once again, everything's closed because I tend to go for my walks early in the morning. I'm gonna have to probably start walking later at night if I want to get some vibrance in my videos. But even before I started doing videos, I would just get up early. I'd be going for walks at like anywhere from like 5:30 in the morning up till about 8 o'clock. Not sure why I stopped here. I think I was just reading the signs. Community Policing Center. What's this? Hair salon. As we get up now more and more, you'll start seeing more kind of the Italian vibe again. It changes. Rhythm and Spice. It looks like a Jamaican kind of a restaurant. We're going to be coming to a Belgium fries place. Been there before. I don't think I actually had the Belgium fries with the poutine on top. I just like my fries with ketchup. But if you like it with all the mushy stuff, then go for it. I don't know. Too mushy for me. It's not the right vibe. Every lamppost has the green, white, and red, like you can see right there. They decorated every lamppost, light post with they're all black with the green, white, and red logo. Canadian or Italian colors. Giancarlo's Italian Cafe. Opens up early, closes early, so it's like from like I don't know what time it opens up, maybe 7:30 or something like that in the mornings. Closes at about 3, so you'll never be able to go there at night. He doesn't keep it open late at night, unlike other places. Other Italian coffee shops are open till at least 9 or 10 at night. East Van Tattoo and Piercings. Here's another bar. I don't think I've been into this one. Park Drive. That's what they used to call Commercial Drive originally. It was called Park Drive. They changed the name in 1911. So it wasn't the same name as other Park Drive streets in Vancouver. So they changed the name to Commercial specifically for that reason. Over here is Fratelli's Italian Bakery. So if you want to get Italian baked goods, this is the place to do it. It looks like they got to replace their awning. Nothing looks like it's half gone. Fratelli's. That means brothers in Italian, fratelli. There it is. Good place to go. And right next door, La Grotta del Formaggio, Italian deli. Right next to that, Cafe Calabria, oldest Italian coffee shop in Vancouver. That's where I go when I go for coffees on Commercial Drive. I've been going there since the 1990s. Good place. Very well decorated inside. There's a lot of room inside as well. You can get all types of coffee, Italian sandwiches, Italian sodas. Good place to hang out. They don't have TVs. You can't watch soccer games there though. It's not that kind of place. It's simply a place to hang out. Across the street, Il Mercato. That's where they have Lombardo's Pizza, which is the ex-wife of Marcello's Pizzeria, just about a block and a half down. So when they split up, the wife, from what I'm told, opened up her own pizzeria. I think that's how the story goes, but definitely the husband has Marcello's Pizzeria and the wife has Lombardo's Pizzeria. So now they created competition after they got divorced. A little shot of Red Burrito. East First and Commercial Drive right here. East First is basically major route to get into downtown Vancouver from the suburbs of Vancouver. Van City Community Savings Bank or Credit Union. The Lombardo's Pizzeria, you can see it right on there in the sign. Lombardo's in the black top. Walk right into that little mini mall and it's inside there. Here we have Tim Hortons, Canadian franchise coffee business that's found throughout Canada, was created in Ontario, and it's pretty much everywhere in Canada. And actually you can find it even as far away places as Mexico now. This video was taken early morning, Saturday, February 25th at about 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning, roughly. That's why there's not too many people around. Here's Arriva Pizza, or Arriva restaurant. Pastas and stuff like that. Good place, been there for a long time. At least 30, or actually at least maybe 40 years. Angelo Tailors, they've been around for a long time. Custom tailored suits. Been there since the early 1980s, roughly. The Charleston, I've never been in there. Or the Charlatan, my bad. Never been in there. That's like a bar. They got a lot of bars here. It's the nightlife scene on Commercial Drive for sure. Anytime after 5 o'clock, whenever you get off work is when this place starts to thrive. More pizza places. Another smoke shop. Another dark French cafe in Fat. So that's like a French/Vietnamese sandwich and coffee shop. Café du Soleil. Never been there. This is a newer Italian coffee shop, Cafe Socavo. It used to be Cafe Abruzzi. These guys bought it out and they renovated it and they renamed it. So they're bringing it back to life. Another place to watch soccer. The same people who own Cafe Socavo also own straight out of Brooklyn Pizza throughout Vancouver, and also Via Tevere Pizzeria, which is located about a block west of there on Victoria Drive. I haven't been there, but a lot of people really like their pizza. Via Tevere, Tevere. Now we're going to be coming to Victoria Park here. Usually this place is pretty busy. There's all different kinds of people here hanging out. A lot of homeless people or people smoking marijuana and stuff like that. They all hang out here, especially in the summer. But even in the winter months, for a while that people were camping out here as well. Looks like they moved on. Maybe they got kicked out. I don't know what happened, but it looks pretty quiet now compared to how it used to look for sure. There's Joe's Cafe on the right-hand side again. Public restroom right there if you need to go to the washroom. There's a public restroom at Green Door. I don't know if it was open at that time of the day. They lock it at night because they don't want homeless people sleeping in there, people doing drugs and stuff like that. But they are open throughout the day. Fairly clean in there. I've used it myself. There's Joe's. This place is called Community. I don't know what kind of the restaurant or just a bar. Stanley Nails Spa. No, never had my nails done there. PCOV, Portuguese Club of Vancouver, but it really is open to the public. So if you want Portuguese barbecued smells, forget the kind of fish they barbecue. But you can eat it there. They make a sandwich for you, and you can have Portuguese chicken soup and stuff like that. If you like Portuguese food, go to the PCOV. Sardines, Portuguese, yeah, barbecued sardines at PCOV. I was just thinking about it. So now we're going to be walking up to Choices, I think it is. It's kind of like a Whole Foods. Locally owned, I'm pretty sure. So if you like Whole Foods kind of organic health products, you can go to Choices. We go there. This is just where it starts to kind of die off again. So the more vibrant part is kind of towards First Avenue, or anywhere from like probably Grant Street to First Avenue, and then south of First Avenue would probably be about 4th Avenue, so in between there. So I've never been into any of these places here. Little Earth. So they got a funny coffee shop coming up, which I think it's kind of silly, but whatever. It'll come up in a minute. It's called the COVID Cafe, if you can believe it. It's in bright pink, and yeah, it's named after a pandemic. Not the best decision, in my opinion. I don't think anyone wants to be reminded of the last 3 years. But definitely, you won't forget the name, that's for sure, or the color of the place. Never been here either. Sunrise Pizzeria. Never been here. Been around for a long time, like 1980s once again, right? Sometimes that's the whole charm of it, is when you just are back in time instead of having everything so sleek and modern. It's nice just to go into a place that's a blast from the past. Here's the COVID cafe, all bright pink inside. I just don't understand it. Like, seriously. Part of their logo is a mask. And then, okay, here's extra footage. I walked through the back lane of Venables, which is near Commercial Drive. East Van Brewery, if you want to get some breweries, this is a pretty big place. Haven't been there, but I know it's very popular. A lot of different craft breweries in here. This area in general, north of Commercial Drive, has lots of breweries. This is a good place, Uprising Bakery, and it's a coffee shop. You can get baked goods and have a coffee all in one shot. And that concludes our video. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, and if you want, hit subscribe. Have a great day. Thank you so much for coming along my journey on Commercial Drive.